So a few words to the waterways. How is you can supply water to the locomotive, and in this case it's again a bit different than in the previous restorations or versions of locomotive made by Walter Kolb. In this one of the first locomotives he made ever, he was so innovative that he had an external connection so that you can apply water directly from outside via this connection through this line here and this valve directly into the boiler, clock valve here. And if you close this, then this external water supply is not possible anymore. But the second way is directly via this steam pump. The lower part here is the water pumping part with 4 ball valves. And here the water is sucked through a line coming from the tank, which is hidden here by this blank wall, green wall, but there's a big tank underneath, and the water is then drawn from the tank directly into this part of the pump, pressurized. It's going back through this curly connection and into the boiler again. So this is a second way to apply water. And interestingly enough, one very important function is at the beginning you have to get rid of the air in this part of the pump. These balls, they work only with water. If they are not flooded with water and have only air in it, then the air is trying to compress, which is not possible. So the only way to start a successful pumping is to fill all the parts here inside with water. And here comes a trick. By opening this valve and pumping, then the air which is stuck into the system after storage or after draining some air during the process, this air is pushed out through this line here, upward, back, outside. So then the air goes out and suddenly water sprays out. Not only air is coming, but also water. Then you know that this part of the pump is full of water. I call this a service connection. I have this service connection implemented in all my 6 Kolb blocks. Also, if they are made without this valve. I had done the same thing, and also in my big steamboat, which has a length of almost 6 meters, I have the same trick implemented. I call these service valves. They are very important to get rid of air in the system. So then another possibility to apply water is the way underneath here between these wheels. You can't see it, but underneath there is a extender driven small water pump which pumps water which it gets by gravity from the tank, which is inside, as I said. The water goes down to the deepest point, and then the pump pumps water against the pressure on this side here. And then the water is going into this clock valve on the other side of the boiler. So this is another way to get water into the boiler against the pressure. And the fourth way to get water into the system is just applying, of course, water here to the tank. These are the openings of the tank on both sides, so you can add water, but just pulling water in on these sides, then the tank is full. And the last possibility to fill the boiler, but this is of course without any pressure on it, by just opening this part here and pouring water from the top. This is what one does at the beginning, just for a primary filling, putting water from the top. So as you can see, there are several ways to fill the locomotive under pressure and during running, and also just if the locomotive is stopping and there's no pressure on the system, then there are also the possibility to add some water via the top, the last possibility. So now we see the whole thing in function. So now I'm priming the steam pump. As I discussed before, I start the pump. So you can already see it's pumping quite fast, so there's definitely air in it. Now I open it, so water is spraying out. That's fine now, and now one can see how the level goes up. So now I will start these two cylinders. I put pressure on the two cylinders so that the wheels start to turn, and then the pump in between, the wheel pump, will start then to pump water into the system. There's one important trick if one doesn't want to have too much water in the boiler, is to open this valve here. It is like a cross circuit. The water doesn't go directly into the boiler, but it goes via this valve into the tank, back into the tank. So then it circles backward during the run of the locomotive. If one really wants to have then the water into the boiler, pumped directly into the boiler, and just the right amount during the driving of the locomotive, one can adjust the right amount by turning this wheel here to the right flow, and if you close it completely, then all the water goes directly into the boiler and not backward in the tank anymore. But I start open that you can see how the water sprays in the system, and then I close it that the pumping goes into the boiler. So let's start with the turning wheels. And you can see wonderful now in the tank how the water goes into the tank. It's not going into the boiler at the moment. You can see it here. The level is not increasing in the water gouge, it is under fixed position. Now I close this valve here so that this water is not going backward anymore. I close it. There's no water going back. And now I'll see what happens in the water gouge. It goes up. Slowly, but it goes up. I wait a bit that you can see it, and it's a slow motion at the moment. But you can already see how the water level increases in the water gouge. So it is functioning, it is running into the boiler against the pressure, but only during the driving here of this locomotive.